The night feels different tonight. The air is quiet, but it hums with a strange stillness, like the world is holding its breath. Then, through that silence, a faint bell rings once. Its sound lingers in the air, soft yet powerful, as if the universe itself just whispered your name. Archangel Gabriel's presence fills the moment with warmth. His voice doesn't come from outside, it rises from within, like a vibration inside your heart. If you hear the bell, he says, pause. Do not rush to explain it. That sound is not from this world. It's a reminder that heaven is near. You close your eyes for a second, and everything around you slows down. The ticking of the clock, the hum of distant traffic, the faint echo of your own heartbeat, it all seems to move in rhythm with that single tone. You begin to realize that the sound you heard wasn't just noise. It was a message. Gabriel's voice continues gently. Heaven speaks in ways the mind cannot understand. The bell you heard tonight is a signal, a sacred vibration that tells your soul, we are with you. You take a slow, deep breath. The air feels different now, softer, lighter, full of something unseen, yet undeniably real. For a moment, you remember the times you've asked for a sign, a confirmation that your prayers were heard. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was heaven's way of saying, we never left you. Gabriel's light surrounds you now, shimmering gold and white. His wings move like waves of calm air, brushing against your energy. Every sound that comes to you unexpectedly, he says, is part of a divine rhythm. You live in a universe that sings. The bell you heard is not random. It carries your name in its vibration. The thought fills your heart with peace. You think of all the times you ignored little signs. The sudden flicker of light, the feather on the ground, the song that played at the perfect moment. Now you realize those weren't coincidences. They were echoes of the same voice, the same divine music that never stopped playing. Gabriel speaks again, his tone soft but steady. Heaven uses sound when your spirit is ready to awaken. That sound calls your energy back to harmony. It clears confusion, it calms anxiety, it opens your heart to awareness. Do not fear the sound. Listen. You listen. The room is quiet again, but you can still feel the vibration of the bell lingering inside you. It's not loud, not even audible anymore, but you can feel it resonating in your chest like a heartbeat made of light. You realize that the bell didn't just happen, it reached you. It found you at the exact moment you needed it most. Gabriel continues, this is not a warning, it is a reminder. It means you have entered alignment. The sound is heaven's way of saying that your energy is beginning to match the frequency of peace. Those words sink into you deeply. Alignment, peace, renewal. Maybe this isn't just about hearing something. Maybe it's about remembering something. Something you used to know long ago. How to be still, how to trust, how to listen without needing to understand. You take another breath, slower this time. Your body begins to relax. The weight in your chest lifts just a little. The air around you feels warm now, almost alive. Gabriel says, when the bell rings, the veil between worlds becomes thinner. It's not meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you that you are surrounded by unseen love. You are not separate from the divine. You are part of it. A quiet sense of gratitude fills you. You don't know why, but the thought of being seen, being known, being remembered by heaven fills you with relief. For so long, you've been trying to make sense of everything, trying to control, to plan, to understand. But this moment feels like an invitation to simply be. Gabriel continues, do not rush to label what happens to you as coincidence. Every vibration, every flicker of light, every sound that arrives uninvited carries meaning. The question is not, what does it mean? The real question is, how does it make you feel? Because feeling is the language of the soul. You nod slowly, understanding. You remember moments when your intuition told you something before it happened. You remember the times you felt someone's presence before they entered the room. You remember how sometimes your heart knew the truth long before your mind accepted it. Now, it all connects. That's what Gabriel means. The bell isn't just an external sound, it's an internal recognition. You start to recall the first time you ever felt something like this, a moment when everything stopped for no reason, and you sensed that something greater was listening. It didn't speak in words. It spoke in energy, in timing, in synchronicity. Gabriel's voice interrupts your thoughts softly. Every time your soul becomes quiet, we speak. Every time you listen without fear, you hear us. The message feels clear now. The bell isn't there to predict something. It is there to remind you that you are part of something far more vast than what you can see. It's a sacred whisper that says, you're in the right place. Keep trusting. You take another breath and realize the world feels different. The shadows seem softer, the air lighter. The quiet no longer feels empty. It feels full. Full of presence, full of guidance, full of unseen love. Gabriel's light flickers gently as he continues. Heaven doesn't shout. It sings. It doesn't demand. It invites. The bell you heard was heaven's invitation to slow down, to listen, to remember who you are. You realize now that everything around you has a pulse. The air, the walls, even your breath, all are moving in rhythm. The bell was never outside you. It was always inside, resonating with that rhythm. Gabriel whispers, you are a vibration within the divine symphony. Every sound, every silence, is a note in your song. The bell was not calling you from afar. It was calling you back to your own harmony. Your eyes fill with tears, but they're not tears of sadness. They're tears of recognition. Something ancient and pure. Inside you just woke up. You remember what it feels like to be connected to something infinite, something loving, something beyond words. Gabriel's presence draws closer. His energy feels like a soft, golden wind moving through you. You've been searching for answers, he says. But sometimes, heaven doesn't send words. It sends resonance. And resonance can only be felt, not explained. You sit in silence, letting his words wash over you. The more you listen, the more peaceful you feel. It's as though the bell still rings softly within your chest, reminding you of the truth you almost forgot. You are not alone. You are seen, guided, and deeply loved. Gabriel continues, the bell is not a sign of something coming. It's a sign that you are ready. When you hear it, know that your energy has risen enough to connect with ours. It means you are aligned, aware, and safe. You breathe in deeply again. The sound seems to echo through your lungs, through your veins, through your spirit. Everything feels still, but alive. For the first time in a long while, you're not waiting for anything. You're simply listening. And in that stillness, something miraculous happens. You feel peace. Not the temporary kind that depends on circumstances, but the deep, steady kind that comes from knowing that everything, even the smallest sound, happens for a reason. Gabriel's last words in this moment are gentle, like the fading hum of the bell itself. Do not be afraid of silence. Do not ignore the sound, for both are ways we reach you. Every echo, every vibration, every pause, it is all divine communication. You open your eyes again. The room looks the same, but feels different. It's as if the light itself is listening with you. Somewhere in the distance, another faint bell rings, and this time you smile, because you know. The sound of that invisible bell still hums in your spirit, a vibration that seems to weave through your every breath. Even though the night has grown still again, the resonance remains, gentle but unmistakable. You are aware now in a way you weren't before. Every flicker of light, every rustle of air feels deliberate, as though the world is speaking in a secret code meant only for you. Archangel Gabriel's voice returns, calm and steady, flowing through that stillness. When heaven calls, it does not command, it invites. The bell you heard was not an alarm. It was a reminder that your soul, has entered a new rhythm. You are being attuned to divine timing. Each sound, each moment of silence, marks a step on the path you were always meant to walk. You breathe in deeply, feeling the air pass through you like light. Something inside you shifts again. You can almost sense the world reorganizing itself to match your inner calm. Gabriel continues, "You see, many people hear the call, but few truly listen. They rush to interpret it, to assign meaning before they've received the feeling. But the language of heaven is emotion, not words. When peace settles in after the sound, that peace is the message. You let those words sink into your chest, feeling them ripple through your heart like warm waves. For a moment, you recall the last few weeks, the anxiety, the doubts, the times you asked, 'Am I on the right path?' Maybe that faint bell was heaven's way of answering, not with logic, but with presence." Gabriel's light expands, his form barely visible now, more energy than shape. His tone softens. The universe often whispers before it moves. The bell you heard was the whisper before the shift. It's telling you, something in your life is realigning, and you must stay open. Those words land gently, yet they ignite a spark in your chest. You realize you've been living half asleep, caught in repetition, waiting for change to find you, instead of listening for the invitation to step into it. Gabriel says, "Awareness is the bridge between the seen and unseen. Once you awaken to signs, more will follow." The bell was just the first. You look around, suddenly noticing small details you had ignored. The way the shadows move on the wall, the faint pulse of your own heartbeat, the hum of electricity in the air. Everything seems alive, communicating in patterns you're only beginning to understand. Gabriel speaks again. "Do you see how nothing is random? Even now, this moment is sacred. Every vibration carries purpose. Every sound carries memory. The bell did not ring from outside your life. It came through you, because your soul was ready to hear again." That realization stirs something profound inside you. The idea that heaven doesn't intervene so much as interact, it's been a conversation all along, one you didn't realize you were part of. Gabriel continues, "The bell is the echo of your own readiness. Heaven doesn't speak to those who aren't listening. It resonates with those who already began to seek." You smile faintly, remembering how, before the sound, you were lost in thought, restless, searching for answers that seemed too far away. And now you understand. The moment you decided to seek truth sincerely, heaven answered through vibration. It wasn't coincidence. It was coordination. Every sound, Gabriel says, is a carrier of energy. The bell is the sound of awakening. It shakes the air around you to awaken the spirit within you. But do not mistake awakening for arrival. This is only the beginning. Now you must learn to live aware. You wonder what that means, to live aware. And before you can even ask, he responds, "It means listening even when nothing is speaking. It means trusting even when no signs appear. It means knowing that heaven's silence is never absence, but incubation. Every prayer ripens in silence before it returns as a miracle. The truth of that hits you deeply. You remember the prayers that went unanswered, or so you thought. But what if they weren't denied? What if they were simply still forming, resonating, aligning?" Gabriel's light pulses as if nodding to your thought. "Yes," he says, "nothing you send into heaven is lost. The sound of your faith travels further than you can imagine." The bell was your echo returning. You inhale slowly, realizing how divine timing works, not as random luck, but as rhythm. Heaven responds when your heart and its melody match. You've been waiting for the universe to speak louder, but it's been waiting for you to quiet down enough to hear it. Gabriel continues, "The sound you heard will repeat, not always as a bell, not always through your ears. It might return as intuition, as a gentle pull, as a coincidence that feels too precise to ignore. That is how heaven continues a conversation. It uses your awareness as the language. You think back to the many times you brushed off small moments of knowing, the feeling that you should call someone, the inner nudge to wait before making a decision, the sudden wave of calm when everything seemed uncertain. Those too were bells, subtle reminders from something higher. Gabriel confirms, every time your heart whispers, wait or trust, that is us ringing the bell within you. You are never left without guidance. You only forget to listen. There's a pause, not empty, but sacred. You can feel Gabriel smiling through the light. He says, do not expect heaven to shout. It is too gentle for that. Instead, expect grace to find you quietly in moments like this. The bell you heard is already doing its work. It is clearing noise, removing distractions, tuning your awareness toward peace. The peace in you grows deeper, almost like a physical warmth spreading through your chest. You feel lighter, like a weight you didn't know you were carrying has fallen away. Gabriel's presence surrounds you, not as an image, but as a vibration, constant, luminous, steady. He says, the energy of heaven is not distant. It exists wherever awareness is invited. Tonight, you invited it. You let those words settle inside you. For years, you might have thought that signs were for the chosen, that only a few could hear the divine clearly. But now, standing here in the glow of invisible wings, you understand. Everyone is chosen. Not everyone is listening. The bell is simply an invitation to begin. You whisper softly, almost to yourself, I am listening. The air responds, as though alive. Gabriel replies, then the connection is complete. From this moment on, the world will speak to you differently. Not louder, but clearer. Because you have aligned your energy with divine sound. The words sink into your soul like light into water. You can sense them reshaping how you see the world. Even the smallest sounds, the hum of wind, the creak of a door, the rhythm of your breath, all seem sacred now. Each one feels like another note in a song you were born, but forgot how to hum. Gabriel's voice fades for a moment, then returns softer, almost a whisper within your heartbeat. Do not chase the next sound. Do not look for the next sign. Simply live as if you are always surrounded by them, because you are. Awareness is not something to find. It is something to remember. A golden glow fills the room one last time as he concludes. The bell will ring again, not because you need to be awakened, but because heaven loves to remind those who listen that they are never alone. You breathe out slowly, smiling through the calm. Somewhere in the distance, another faint chime echoes, soft, serene, perfect in its timing. And this time, you don't question it. You simply listen. The echo of the chime fades into silence, but the silence is alive. It's not emptiness, it's presence. You can feel something humming softly underneath everything, a constant current that never stops moving. Archangel Gabriel's energy still surrounds you, but it's quieter now, woven into the very air. You can sense that he is leaving. He's teaching you to feel him without needing proof. He speaks again, and this time his voice isn't booming or radiant. It's intimate, like a whisper meant for your soul alone. Do you understand now? The bell was never meant to startle you. It was meant to slow you down, to make you listen, to remind you that guidance isn't found in noise, but in stillness. You take a deep breath, letting his words move through you. For the first time, you realize how rarely you are truly silent, how often your thoughts speak louder than your heart. You understand now why the angels speak through sound, because sound reaches beyond reason. It bypasses the mind and touches what words cannot reach. Gabriel continues, "You live in a world full of noise. So much is said, so little is heard. Every day you are surrounded by endless information, but true understanding comes only from awareness. When the bell rings, heaven is saying, 'Stop, return to your center.' The answers you seek are already waiting there. You close your eyes, and an image forms behind your eyelids. You see a golden bell suspended in the sky, its surface reflecting the stars. Every time it swings, waves of light ripple through the darkness, reaching far beyond what the eye can see. The waves pass through you, through the walls, through the world. You realize that every being, every soul, hears that vibration in its own way, sometimes as a thought, sometimes as a song, sometimes as a sudden feeling that something beautiful is about to happen." Gabriel's tone grows softer. "You are not the only one who hears. The whole universe listens with you. The bell's vibration unites you with others who are awakening. Each heart that pauses to listen becomes another note in heaven's song. A warmth fills your chest, and you feel connected not just to Gabriel, but to something vast and luminous. You imagine thousands of people across cities and oceans, each one pausing for a brief moment tonight, hearing something invisible, feeling the same quiet awareness. It humbles you. Gabriel says, when you heard the sound, your energy shifted. That single moment was a reset. Your soul remembered its original frequency piece. You don't need to chase enlightenment. You only need to return to what you already are. You breathe in deeply. Peace. Such a simple word, yet it feels like a whole universe when Gabriel says it. You realize that you've spent so much of your life searching for love, for meaning, for confirmation that your life mattered. But now you see that peace was never something to find. It was always something to allow. Gabriel continues, every time your heart grows still, heaven moves closer. That's why the bell called to you. It was not outside your life. It was within your frequency. When you find silence inside, you open the door between heaven and earth. The words strike something deep within you. Maybe that's what the bell really is, not a physical sound, but the echo of that door opening. A moment when your vibration matches the divine, even if only for a heartbeat. That's why it feels familiar, even though you can't explain it. Gabriel's light pulses softly, and he continues, the next time you hear a bell, don't look around. Look within. That sound will always find you when you are ready to realign. It is the universe's way of saying, you are safe. You are seen. You are exactly where you need to be. You let those words settle in. Safe, seen, aligned. They aren't just words, they're a new rhythm, a pulse that syncs with your breathing. You think about all the moments in your life when you felt lost, when you begged for a sign, when you thought no one was listening. And now you understand, the silence was never absence. It was preparation. The universe was tuning you so you could hear. Gabriel's tone grows firmer now, filled with purpose. You must remember this. Not every sound is a message, but every message begins as a vibration. Some vibrations come as music, some as emotion, and some as stillness that feels sacred. Do not rush to define them. Feel them. When something moves your spirit for no reason, that is reason enough. The truth of that statement fills you with awe. You remember times when you were overcome with emotion for no clear reason, when a simple sunset brought you to tears, when a song made your heart ache, when the sound of rain felt like comfort. Maybe those moments were all echoes of the same vibration, the bell ringing in another form, reminding you of your connection to everything. Gabriel says every sense you have, sight, sound, touch, is an instrument heaven uses to reach you. But the most powerful one is intuition. The bell you heard was just one note in the song your intuition already knows by heart. You are learning to recognize the melody. You smile softly. So the bell wasn't just an event, you whisper. It was a beginning. Gabriel's light glows brighter, and his wings spread wide like dawn breaking. Yes, he says, the beginning of awareness. The moment your soul decided to listen instead of react. That single choice awareness changes everything. It alters your timeline, your energy, even the people drawn toward you. Because one awakened soul creates ripples that reach far beyond itself. You think of the people you love, the ones struggling, the ones searching. Maybe, by listening tonight, you can help them here too. Maybe this awareness I enter just for you. It's for everyone whose hearts are still too loud to notice their own bell ringing. Gabriel nods as if hearing your thought. Exactly, he says. Awareness shared is light multiplied. That's why you must share this peace not by preaching, but by being. When you live in harmony, your energy sings. Others will feel it, and they will remember too. You take another breath, letting his words melt into your spirit. A calm smile forms on your face. You realize that spreading light doesn't require effort. It's as simple as existing in truth. Gabriel continues, even your silence can heal others, because it carries the echo of heaven's sound. Then, almost playfully, he adds, and remember, heaven's messages are never limited to bells. They come in laughter, in tears, in whispers, in waves. When you laugh from your soul, that's the same vibration joy ringing through creation. You laugh softly, and it feels like he's laughing with you. It's light, effortless, real. The atmosphere feels alive again, shimmering. Gabriel's presence feels both vast and close, like starlight and heartbeat at once. He speaks one final truth for this moment. Every time you hear that sacred sound, let it remind you to return to stillness, gratitude, and trust. You are not waiting for heaven to arrive. It's already here, woven into every note, every silence, every breath. The light fades into golden calm, but the feeling remains. The air hums with life, and you sit quietly, knowing you'll never experience silence the same way again. Even when there's no sound, you'll hear something deeper, a rhythm that connects you to everything, the pulse of divine awareness. The bell may have rung only once tonight, but its echo will never stop. It will live in your steps, your words, your choices. Every time you breathe, every time you listen, you'll remember. Heaven speaks softly. You just had to learn how to hear it. The stillness that follows feels like a gentle sunrise blooming inside you. It isn't silence anymore, it's communion. The air hums with a quiet that feels alive, aware. You know Archangel Gabriel is still here, even if you can't see him. His presence is a vibration threaded through your very breath. When he speaks again, his voice feels like light translated into sound soft, radiant, eternal. Now you understand? He begins. The sound you heard was never meant to end. It continues through you, through every thought and word you release into the world. You are a vessel for divine resonance. Every time you speak with kindness, you ring the bell again. Every time you choose peace over reaction, it echoes across heaven. You sit motionless, absorbing the magnitude of that truth. It makes sense now the bell wasn't just assigned to you. It was an activation within you. Gabriel continues, humanity forgets that creation began with sound. Let there be light was not only a command, it was vibration. The universe began with resonance, and that same frequency lives inside your being. The bell simply reminded you of your origin. You feel that deeply. Something ancient stirs in your soul, like a memory from before memory itself. You understand that you are made from sound, from harmony, from the divine breath that still moves through all things. For a moment, it's overwhelming. You can feel the vastness of existence pressing gently against you, not as weight, but as belonging. Gabriel senses it and soothes. Do not be afraid of your magnitude. To recognize your connection to creation is not arrogance, it is reverence. You close your eyes, breathing deeply. Your heartbeat feels synchronized with something larger. Gabriel's tone softens even more. The bell you heard will not always appear as sound. Sometimes it will be a sudden clarity, a moment of déjà vu, or a stranger's words that strike you as familiar. Sometimes it will come as a feeling that you must stop, breathe, and listen. Each time, it is heaven reminding you, you are seen. A warm current flows through you. The anxiety that once lived in your chest feels smaller now, distant. You realize that the bell was not a sign of something coming. It was a sign that something had arrived. That peace you longed for, this is it. This awareness, this calm knowing. Gabriel speaks again. You asked for signs of protection, of guidance, of love. But those signs were already around you. Feathers, songs, numbers, dreams. The bell simply opened your ears to what never stopped calling. You are surrounded by guidance at all times. The question is no longer, will heaven speak? The question is, will you stay quiet enough to hear? You let that truth wash through you like a wave. For the first time, you realize how often your prayers have already been answered before you even finished saying them. You recall moments of coincidence, unexpected kindness, lucky timing, and now they all line up like constellations pointing to the same truth. Heaven has always been speaking. You are simply learning its language. Gabriel continues, his tone rich with compassion. The reason signs appear differently for everyone is because each soul speaks its own dialect of divine love. For some, we use numbers. For others, feathers. For you, we used sound because your soul is attuned to vibration. You understand frequency, even when you don't have words for it. That is why you heard the bell clearly. It was tuned to your soul's signature. You smile faintly at that ID. A soul having its own frequency, a sound that heaven recognizes. Gabriel's words flow on. And when you choose love, gratitude, forgiveness, your frequency rises. It draws heaven closer. That is why your thoughts and emotions matter. They are not invisible. They are music. And the universe arranges itself to harmonize with the song you sing. You can almost see it now. A vast tapestry of light and sound, every being radiating their own tone, blending and shifting together like an orchestra made of stars. Gabriel's voice carries awe as he says, "You see it, don't you? You've always been part of the symphony. You just forgot you were playing." Tears slip down your cheeks. They aren't from sadness. They're from remembering. You whisper softly, "So the bell was like a conductor's note, bringing me back into rhythm." "Yes," Gabriel replies with joy in his voice. "Exactly. It was the divine reminder that your life is not random sound, it is melody. You are being guided back into harmony with the greater song. The more you listen, the more the universe aligns around you. The atmosphere in the room shifts. The air feels sacred, thick with promise. You feel a pulse of energy in your palms, a warmth that makes you want to lift your hands upward. Gabriel says, "Now, let that energy move through you. Share it without effort. When you speak with sincerity, when you comfort someone, when you bring peace to a space, you amplify the same vibration you received. The bell inside you becomes a beacon. You exhale, feeling that energy radiate outward. It feels real, like invisible light moving through your skin, reaching far beyond what you can see." Gabriel's tone becomes more intimate. The world needs this resonance. You think small acts do not matter, but they are waves in the unseen. Every time you choose love instead of anger, every time you forgive instead of judge, every time you pause instead of react, you are ringing the bell again. You realize then that your very existence can be prayer. That walking gently, speaking kindly, thinking compassionately, all of it is communication with heaven. Gabriel seems to nod through the light, pleased. "Yes," he says, That is awareness in motion. That is divine sound becoming human action. You are heaven's echo in a physical form. The weight of those words doesn't feel heavy. It feels empowering. You realize that listening is not the end of the message. It's the beginning of responsibility. You are meant to live as the continuation of what you've heard. Gabriel continues, do not doubt your sensitivity. The more you awaken, the more you will feel everything, the joy, the sorrow, the energy of others. Do not see it as weakness. Sensitivity is not fragility. It is clarity. It means your instrument is finely tuned. Just remember to cleanse it with light and silence, and you will always stay in harmony. You nod slowly, understanding that the practice of listening will never truly end. It's a lifelong devotion, a dialogue without final words. Gabriel's presence starts to expand, glowing brighter now, as if preparing to return fully into the unseen. His voice deepens, resonant and comforting. When you next hear the bell, do not ask what it means. Simply say, I remember. That will be enough. It will open the connection instantly. You don't need rituals or proof-only awareness. You whisper quietly, I will remember. He responds. Then you will never lose the sound again. A golden silence follows. It feels infinite. You sense wings folding back into light. The room grows warmer, not brighter, just filled with peace. Then Gabriel speaks one final time, his words like music itself. Live as if heaven were listening, because it always is. Speak with truth, move with grace, and keep your heart uncluttered. You are not waiting for the divine to arrive. It already lives within your breath. Let every word you speak be a note of gratitude, every thought a harmony of love. And when the bell rings again, smile. It means we're near. The last vibration of his presence fades like the tail end of a song, but the peace remains. The air is still, yet humming quietly with life. You sit in that glow for a long while, feeling no rush to move, no desire to fill the quiet. Everything is already full. You finally whisper into the silence, I am listening. Somewhere in the distance, as if in response, a faint chime